Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to crack open a fascinating guide. It's about 1,500 years old, from China, but you'll be surprised at how it gives us a really modern way to look at any piece of art.
So let's just start with this huge question, right? How do you tell if a painting is actually great? I mean, how do we judge art when it feels so personal?
Most of the time, we just fall back on, I just know what I like. And that's totally fair. Art is super subjective. But what if there was a way, like a framework, to help us go a little deeper than that?
Well, believe it or not, someone actually came up with one about 1,500 years ago. A Chinese scholar named Xie He laid out these 6 key principles for judging a painting. And what's amazing is how well they still hold up today.
All right, so let's dive right into the first 2 principles. And honestly, you could argue these are the most important ones. It's all about the life force of the art and the unique touch of the artist.
Okay, the first one, and this is the big one, is called spirit resonance. And really, that's just a fancy way of saying the vibe, the energy. It's that invisible charge an artist puts into their work that makes it feel alive. And Xie He was not messing around with this one. He basically said that if a painting doesn't have this spirit resonance, this essential energy, don't even bother looking at the other stuff. It's the absolute foundation.
So how does an artist show that energy? Well, that brings us to the second principle, the bone method. This is all about the brushwork itself, the actual lines and strokes that give the painting its structure. Think of it like a skeleton holding the whole thing together.
A really good way to think about this? It's like someone's handwriting. Your signature is totally unique to you, right? It says something about you. In the same way, the brushwork, what they call Gufa, was seen as a window right into the artist's personality, and even their moral character.
All right, moving on. Now we're going to look at how an artist actually builds the world on the canvas, using color and thinking really carefully about where everything goes. So, the third principle is all about color. But we're not just talking about, oh, that's a nice blue. It's way deeper than that. It's about how the artist applies layers and tones to get things just right, to capture the feeling of a season changing, or to give the right weight to important symbols in the painting.
And that connects perfectly to our fourth principle, division and planning. This is the master plan, right? It's the composition, where every single thing is placed on that canvas to create a scene that feels balanced and just works.
Think about a classic landscape painting. Nothing is there by accident. Where the artist places that big tree, or that tiny little hut way in the distance, or that winding river, it's all on purpose. It's all designed to lead your eye on a journey and create this incredible feeling of depth and space.
Okay, the last 2 principles are really interesting because they get into this delicate balancing act. How do you paint something realistically while also paying respect to the great artists who came before you?
First up, the 5th canon, correspondence to the object. Now, on the surface, this is pretty straightforward. Does the painting look like the thing it's supposed to be? Does that mountain actually look like a mountain? It's all about getting the form and shape right. But here's where it gets really cool. Over time, the idea evolved. It went from just pure realism, asking, does it look real, to something more profound. The question became, does it feel real? Think about it. It's the difference between a simple photograph of a tiger and a painting that actually captures its raw, ferocious spirit. And that leads us to our final and maybe the most surprising principle, transmission by copying. Now, for us today, copying sounds like a bad thing, right? Like plagiarism. But in this tradition, copying the old masters wasn't theft at all. It was actually a crucial, respectful part of how you became an artist.
It was the whole process, really. By copying the great works from the past, an artist was doing a few things at once: honoring tradition, learning the techniques of the masters, sharpening their own skills, and, really importantly, making sure that this incredible artistic knowledge was passed down to the next generation.
So, let's pull back for a second. We're talking about a guide that's 1,500 years old. Why on earth does it still matter today? Why should we care, no matter what kind of art we're looking at? Well, when you put it all together, the energy, the brushwork, the color, the composition, the form, and the respect for tradition, these 6 canons created this complete, holistic guide, and it literally shaped the entire history of painting in the East for centuries. But more than that, they give us a language. They give us a way to go beyond just, I like it, or it's not for me. They help us actually put words to why a piece of art hits us so hard, why it feels so powerful, and why it stood the test of time.
Really, this ancient guide is like a new set of eyes. It empowers you to look so much deeper. So the next time you're in a gallery or even just scrolling through images online, stop for a second and ask yourself,
What energy did the artist leave behind here? What spirit resonance is waiting for me to find?